Hey. How many people are there?
Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon to one and all present here. On behalf of Central Library and Department of Library and Information Science, Tripura University, I welcome you all in this celebration of Librarians Day 2020, which also marks the 120th birth anniversary of Padma Shri, Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, popularly known as Father of Library Science in India. Today, we are privileged to have with us Sri R.N. Prasad, the founder and Chief Practice Officer of Confluence Consulting Circle Bangalore, as keynote speaker, who is going to give here a talk on data science and beyond. We are also privileged to have here Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tripura University, Professor M.K. Singh Sir as Chief Guest, and Professor Shukanta Bonik, Dean of Science Tripura University as Guest of Honor. The entire program is being live streamed over YouTube platform. Before we jump into today's celebration, let us all stand up and join online in the lightning of Holy Lamb and garlanding to the portrait of Father of Library Science, Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, by Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tripura Universities, along with other dignitaries.
क्या कर रहे हैं? आप भी कर रहे हैं यही पूरी सर आप हाँ आप बता सर
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Dr. R.K. Mahapatra, sir, Head of the Department of Library and Information Science, Tripura University, to give the welcome speech. Over to Dr. R.K. Mahapatra, sir. Thank you, Dr. Mahapatra sir. I would now request Dr. B. Sanjay, Librarian of Tripura University, to present here the concept note and give a brief introduction to our today's speaker. Over to Dr. B. Sanjay sir.
Keynote speaker, all the faculty, the students, and also the library fraternity. I welcome you all for this the wonderful Librarian Day celebration. This time, due to the COVID situation, we had to organize this session online. Today, we are very fortunate to have the eminent speaker, Dr. R.N. Prasad, with us. So, when I approached him to talk about the data science, because with my previous the conversation and also the previous the attachment with it in my earlier organization, I know that Professor R.M. Prasad is a renowned person in the field of data science. He has published many papers in the field of data science. And we felt the subject, the data science, is an interesting topic to be taken on the occasion of our Librarian Day. Also, it is not only benefit to our library fraternity, it is also benefiting to our other the faculty in the discipline of the data science, and also I know it is also benefiting to our social science faculty and students, and also the research scholars. When I approached our speaker R.M. Prasad, he was very happily accepted the invitation, and also he asked me what is our interest on the data science. And when I asked some of my faculty and my colleagues, they were more interested on the kind of the data we are generating through research, the kind of data we are generating in this situation, the medical data, and also how we are treating the data, and also the kind of the treatment or the related technology attached
बंद कर रखा है।
attached for the data science. So these are all the things.
साउंड बंद है।
And also Shri R.N. Prasad is currently the founder and chief practice officer of Conference Consulting Circle with over 35 years of IT industry experience in domain like business intelligence, analytics and data science, product management, digital transformation, professional education, enterprise IT program management, as well as management and leadership consulting in IT industry. They have successfully executed large programs for applied materials. Also, he worked with IBM, Unisys, and also is the business analytics. And I know for sure it was the only textbook available during that time for the business analytics students. And also it was well appreciated even outside the India also. It is very fortunate to have him here. And since we are dealing with many of the data, like it might be observational data, experiment data, or the data derived from our research. Even in library science also, we are dealing with many of the data like metadata. It's a bibliographical data, the structural data, or image data, or data administrative data. So definitely, I'm sure his knowledge in the area and also his experience will help us to enhance our knowledge in this field. Thank you, sir. Thanks for accepting our invitation. And also, I'm thanking all the faculty and students for joining this program. And my special thanks because when I asked our Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, to have this kind of program, immediately he has accepted and he has consented for conducting this program in our university with all his support and also the support of our dean. And also, I am happy to share with you here, we have conducted some programs in this on this occasion, like the video creation and digital poster creation and also quiz program for our library science students by the Department of Library Science. And we are happy today we are going to stream one of the best video on this occasion. With all their support, library science department support and also the support of my own colleague, library colleague, we are able to organize this program even this advanced situation. Thank you. Thank you all. And I hope you will be enjoying this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for inviting me to be here with you. we all are here to observe 128th birth anniversary of Padma Dr. A. Ranganathan. Dr. A. Ranganathan, Siali Ram Amrita Ranganathan. Dr. Ranganathan was born in the village Siali, which is known as Kandapur nowadays. He was born in the village Siali in Tamil Nadu, known as Kandapur nowadays. He was born in the village Siali in Tamil Nadu, known as Professor Ranganathan did his BA and MA in Madras Christian College. And then he became an expert of library science. In the year 1945, he joined Benares University and became university librarian and professor of library science. He was there in BHU from 45 to 47, and then in the year 1947, he joined Delhi University. And in Delhi University, he was there as professor of library science up to 1955. And then he left Delhi University and joined first Indian School of Librarianship as a director. His great discovery in the field of library science developed a monumental information in the field of library science. His 5 laws of library science is a monumental information not only in the country but in the world. And he was born in 1892 and had his last breath during September 1972 in Bangalore. Today's program, that is the birthday of Professor Padma Dr. A. Ranganathan, which is regarded as Librarian's Day. And I'm very happy to inform you that despite having very odd situation, not only in the country, all over the world, Tripura University has been able to arrange this program in the floor of Library, Central Library, in collaboration with Department of Library Science. I thank the authority of the university, Professor M. K. Singh, Vice Chancellor in charge, Dr. B. Sanjay, librarian, Dr. R. K. Mahapatra, head of Department of Library Science, faculties of Tripura University, my colleagues of Department of Library Science and Central Library, my student friends. I hope this sort of program will encourage the level of the university. It will send a boost to the mentality of the students of library science. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm audible, right? So good afternoon, everyone, and I'm really privileged to be there with all of you today. in this great occasion of the celebration at the library, the Manipur University, and Honorable Chief Guest, the Vice Chancellor, Professor M.K. Singh, Professor Sukanta Banik, Sri R.K. Mahaprata, Dr. Sanjay, and Bharat Praveen. And I want to wish each one of you and all the audience today a very, very happy Librarians Day. And I'm very privileged to be with all of you today. So I intend to share a very simple introduction to whatever has become today extremely popular as data science. And of course, it is moving beyond to become, the major field like artificial intelligence and several other offshoots that are coming out of the data science related field. So I think I'll just take about 30 minutes or so just to give a very simple introduction. At the same time, that should convey about whatever is happening in the field of data science. So I now would like to share a small presentation with all of you, and you will be able to see that on your screen soon. So today I'll be talking about data science and beyond. First of all, there is a lot of innovation that is happening in this field, and there are plenty of opportunities uh, in every single industry. Whether you take healthcare, as we are seeing the COVID situation today, and I'm sure that as you already mentioned, so much of data is getting generated and so much of intelligence is available around the world within minutes, as and when things are happening. And of course, the most important element of current situation today is that all these great technologies are being used to bring out a COVID vaccine as early as possible. And possibly that's what we are really going to see in future as one of the shortest cycle time to innovation. And I hope in future we will get better opportunities than safe opportunities, where we can really make a very big difference to the mankind. So let me just share some very common evidences that we see, and I want to talk about three things today. In the course of over 25 to 30 minutes maximum. We all are experiencing data science, whether we like it or not. Whenever you go to an Amazon website to buy something, automatically you see a recommendation saying that those who bought this product or those who looked for this product also bought this product. Very common in books, people who to buy the rest of the book. So it shows you this is what is called as a recommendation engine, which works behind it is based on data science. So today we all know that we regularly use Ola, Uber, and these kind of ride-sharing services. All of them have got a huge piece of data science working behind them. So I'm going to share a lot of examples of day-to-day evidences of the data science in action. Next, after we see these experiences, let's go and formally define what is data science and what kind of data it is able to process. So at least when I started, the only kind of data that was available is what we typically enter in a spreadsheet. I'm sure everybody will be very familiar with a spreadsheet. You can enter numbers, you can enter alphanumeric character data, or you can enter date or a true or false. This was the scope of the data all in the earlier days. Whereas today, even if you take a whole movie or a long speech or an entire library of different kinds of documents, particularly the e-books, everything is considered as data. So the shape and size and the variety of data has so much increased, and obviously you need a science, some idea, some systematic approach in order to handle all this. So that is the field of data science. So we will examine both the words, what is the types of data that we have and what is the science behind this. And the last one is, what are some of the future applications of data science and beyond, particularly in the area of artificial intelligence. These are the three things which I intend to speak about. So today we call ourselves as the people living in digital experience age. I cannot imagine anyone not using a smartphone. Most people are very much hooked on to this most of the time. So this, and particularly the younger generation has complete, I would say, not only I would say addiction, but also they know how to really exploit this medium in the best possible way, in very good ways for their own learning and everything else in life. So let's talk about experience. Now you must be seeing a picture which looks like a cosmetic store, and a woman is obviously trying to figure out which is the right thing to shop. If you closely examine this, this is not at all a real store. It's a huge television screen. I'm sure you can now see the border after I indicate that this is not a store. It is very much possible to shop using this screen, and there is no physical store. These shampoo bottles or any other products that you see, they are not physically there. If you want to shop, all that you have to do is to just touch them, and right in the middle, as you can see, it will get a list of all the things that you have bought so far. And interestingly, the way this has been implemented in Hong Kong is that you can buy all these things just on the train platform, and when you go to your destination and get off, all these products will be packed and kept ready for you to collect and go. And payment happens automatically. This, in a minute, will change to some grocery items. This will change to vegetables and fruits. This will change to books. So one single screen is equivalent to a huge mall that we can ever experience. This is the kind of transformation that everybody can experience in life today. This is one of the examples. Let me give you another very interesting scenario. Let's say you are waiting in a train station and you meet a friend after a long time, and you are talking to that person, and suddenly one train comes and you don't know which train is that, and you are really worried whether you are going to miss the train, and you need to, the only way that we do today is to inquire everyone, is this train going to a particular station? Now nothing is required. Simply point your smartphone to the train. The train will send you a message saying that this is the name of the train. It has arrived here and it will depart in this time, and it will really go to the next destination. So this is called as near field communication. A inert entity like train today is able to communicate with human beings without being explicitly told. This service is available 24/7. So imagine at any point of time, whatever you want to find out, it is possible just using pointing your phone to a particular item or a device. Now this is even more interesting, one step beyond. So I'm sure that both men and women now are very much interested in trying out different dresses before you buy. So here is what is called as a magic mirror. You can try and dress yourself and try out many different options without actually wearing them. You can just touch the barcode that's available on the dress, and it will put on the dress. Initially, when you stand in front of the mirror, it will take the picture, and later, whatever dress that you show it to the mirror, it will put it on you. This is going to be an amazing experience in the retail. And people don't have to carry different items. This, they have done it for a variety of things, including, the Revlon company has mastered this even in the area of lipsticks. Even without applying lipsticks, you can really try out variety of options before you make a purchase decision. These are all the interesting things that we can really see in our own daily lives. Now, you don't have to go that far to a mall or to a train station or to a Hong Kong railway station. You can do it right now in your phone with the help of Google Lens. Google Lens, if you don't know what is this object, simply install Google Lens on your mobile phone and point to that. It will search the picture by whatever that you are showing to the camera, and it will bring out all the details. Now, this is very interesting because you can, if you come across an object which you don't know what it is, or if you want to find out, for example, in a shopping area, in a grocery store, what are the ingredients of a particular product, because now you are very health conscious. Now, it can not only find the product, but also it can give you data about what are all the nutrients and the constituents that are there in a food product. Or you can try this yourself. Or there is a lot of things that happens behind all these kinds of experiences. Now, let's understand what is behind the scene. And I'm sure that all of us can, without any exception, can guess that it is the data which is there behind all these experiences. Whether you want to leverage data to create the experiences that we have seen, whether you want to predict who is going to be the next customer for the product or a service, or you want to completely robotize a process. For example, if you want to download 50,000 ebooks in a library, you don't have to sit and do anything. You simply point the books. It will be really able to download all the books for you, and also categorize by interest, categorize by department, and it can do everything that a person can do manually, and that's called process automation. Now, you can really do very interesting thing called supply chain management, where lot of suppliers who are associated with each other. For example, we all know that if you want to make a television set or a smartphone, you need various components. All the components are not manufactured by the same person or the same company. They buy from different suppliers. So these data can be interchanged across the entire supply chain so that one can produce the required number of smart devices on time without missing even a single part. And you can bring it to such an extent that as soon as some item is likely to get exhausted, it will get replenished automatically without any human intervention. All these things are very much possible. And of course, we know that the Ola and the Uber and the Airbnbs of the world are all very much possible with data. So sometimes you need small data, sometimes you need huge amount of data, and sometimes we really need extraordinary kind of data. So let's understand what are all the kinds of data that we have and how do we use them. I want to take a simple analogy that we all studied in possibly around 7th standard in our high school, or the middle school and our high school, what is called as the fractional distillation of petroleum. And all of us know that we get crude oil from the wells. And when you process that oil through a process called fractional distillation, you get various products. Initially, you will get cooking gas. Later, you get some chemicals like alcohol and that kind of stuff. Then you get petrol. Then you get kerosene. Then you get diesel. Then you get paraffin waxes and those kinds of polishes that are used. Then you also get harder material, and finally whatever is left thing is called bitumen, which is used for making asphalt or for preparing the highways and the roads. That's what is used. Everything is useful. So you have to picture exactly the same kind of process in the 21st century, what is called analytical data processing. When you take out very simple things, you will be able to answer questions like what happened in the past. So this is what is the first stage equivalent to our LPG gas or simple chemicals. Then you can also think about what can be done now. Very interestingly, it can tell you, it can even, this is what is called prescriptive analytics. Many companies use that. And one of the best examples that I have come across in prescriptive analytics is the ISKCON. I guess in many parts of India, ISKCON has a program to feed school children. So everyone should really be planning every day how many, how much of amount of food must be prepared. How do you transport it to the schools? How do you bring it down to at the right time to the schools? And how do you collect back all the vessels, etc.? Now there is a software which completely automates the kitchen so that they don't have to worry about anything. Everything right from procurement of grocery to washing of the vessels is controlled by analytics. So that's what you can do in present. Then you can predict about future, what will happen. 20 days from now, how many customers are likely to buy my product, or the things of that nature, which are very important to business, can be done. And you can go beyond that and really look at how our own decisions, whatever decisions that we make, if that is known to the system, then instead of us, the system can make a decision. This is what we can call it as augmented intelligence. It can help us to mimic human beings. Now today, computer can see just like what we see using camera. It can hear exactly like what we hear. I'm sure all of us have used Siri or Alexa, all that has the capability to hear us. And it also has the capacity to sense today. For example, today if you happen to use a robot vacuum cleaner at home, it just moves around, cleans the space, and if there is an obstacle, it knows it will deviate and it will find a way and it will go automatically. All these things are becoming possible because of mimicking the abilities of a human being, and that's what is the future. So very quickly, understanding data science is an interdisciplinary subject. People should be from various fields. For example, from the examples that you have seen, people should know about not only computer and associated subjects, but you are also required to do something contribution from mechanical engineering or healthcare or any other discipline in engineering. When people come together, they will be able to create these kind of new experiences. And these fields could be statistics, machine learning, data mining, predictive analytics, all those things. They use what we call as not only the alphanumerical data, but also uses pictures, video, audio, and everything else. So that's why I just wanted to just spend a minute on nature of data. As I mentioned earlier in our life, we knew only how the data is organized in a spreadsheet like rows and columns. Today, everything in the world has changed. In just 60 seconds on the internet, this is what happens. I'll just read out a couple of them. 14 new songs are added in every minute on the internet. 2 million searches are performed in every single minute on the internet. 72 hours of video gets uploaded or downloaded on the YouTube. Now look at the ebook, the library part of it. 350 gigabytes worth of books are transacted on the internet every single minute. Now, this is an mind-boggling volume, as well as it is variety. It has got video, it has got audio, it has got ebooks, it has got likes, dislikes, Facebook, everything that you can think about is the variety. So The data no longer is numbers and characters. It has come to a very wide variety, and this is what the data science is really dealing with, and this is why our lives have become more interesting. Just to give you a sense of how much of data gets created. Now you can really see 1 zettabyte means 1 followed by 12 zeros. So if you take one single aircraft, it generates about 20 terabytes of each engine generates 20 terabytes of data every single hour. So we have seen long haul flights which take 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours and all that. And if you multiply all these things, then you really know this is the kind of number we will find it very hard even to read. This is the kind of thing that happens. Now, similarly, all of us are familiar that those who have any challenges with our brain, they go through encephalogram. And in order to do this test, they put 64 electrodes, and each electrode in 1 hour generates 216 followed by 9 zeros. That amount of data. And if you have 64 electrodes, this is what happens for one patient for one run. Imagine how many such scans are done across India every single day. And if you want to collect the data for, let's say, honestly, it's about 6 months and study, you can imagine what is the size of the data that we are really looking. And these are all data streams that require, that are extremely useful to the mankind. And today, data science has enabled us to really process this kind of data and do something. So what is so different about data science and why people are talking about today is the simplest possible explanation. We all know that there are, in a traditional programming environment, we need a computer. So in that computer, we write a program and we also supply the data. And we typically say that computer gives an output. Typically, that can be a display, that can be printout, that can be, if it is an ATM machine, it will also give out cash. That's also a computer. There's nothing different. So it also has got a program. It also gets data, which is how much money you want to withdraw, what is your account number, everything, and it gives you money. But in machine learning, this is very different. You don't have to write a program. You show the data and you also show the result. For example, if somebody comes to library to borrow a book, you know which is the employee or the student ID, you know which book the person bought, and let's say that person did not return the book on the stipulated date. He either returned it early or he returned it late. So you know book came either late or came early or it was lost. So you tell the computer that here is the list of the books, and this is the result which I came across, whether it was returned on time, whether it was returned late, or whether it was never returned. Now, the computer can create a program of its own, and next time when the person who did not return the book comes, it will show you that this person did not return the book on time, and he is a habitual person, habitual late returner of the book. This is possible because the machine can learn from not only the data, but the output or the result that you got, you really shared it back with the computer. Normally, the output is never shared with the program again in a normal computer programming. But here, we only provide data and we provide the result of the data, and computer can really generate the program and also automatically act on it. This has a huge advantage. That means looking at the pattern of the data and looking at the pattern of the outputs that are possible, it can generate its own program and also execute that program. This is the most beautiful part of machine learning. And today, if you really take, for example, Uber is, if you look at the volume of things that are happening, it is still mind-boggling. In 5 it typically does 5 billion forecasts per minute across the country. Sorry, across the world. 5 billion forecasts. Like how many people are likely to book the cab, how many are likely to get to the destination, how many people are likely to pay by card, how many people are likely to pay by cash, how many of the things are taking a deviation because some of the roads are blocked. Every one of them is forecasted. So the amount of volume of data that are handled, and if you happen to book a cab in Uber and reach your destination, normally about 160 different predictive machine learning algorithms work on it simultaneously. If you order through Uber Eats something, it will take care of how much time a person spent in the parking lot, how much time he spent, the person carrying your food went to the restaurant, how much time did he wait there, how long did it take for him to find your house, and how did he pay the money. Everything is now predicted in every single ride. So now you can imagine what is the power of this machine learning. Now, let's take some of the future applications of data science, and it can be used in all these common areas. In political campaigns, you can use to predict who is going to be winning. If you have handwritten documents, it can read your handwriting. Remember that it is so difficult for us to read some other person's handwriting, but by training, it can really do that very well. It can do predictive policing, much needed for places. It can say that where the next kind of riots are likely to happen and dispatch them. It can do security monitoring, including cyber security. It can do all the recommendations which I talked about. It can definitely do a personal assistant, not only like the Google Assistant and etc. that you are already using, and can be much more than that, like the Alexa. It can do automatic advertising, and of course, the latest ones are autonomous vehicles, a driverless vehicle, and all those things are reality. And one another field which is gaining tremendous popularity is robotic process automation. Like I mentioned, downloading of 50,000 ebooks in 1 hour in a library is possible because the program can go to the website, it can open the thing, it can make clicks exactly like what we do without any assistance of human being. It can search the file, it can download, and it can catalog while you're relaxing or having a coffee or sleeping. And it can entirely finish the job without anything. And interestingly, if you want 50 million ebooks to be downloaded in a single day, you have to employ a lot of people. But here in RPA, you don't need to do that, but you simply run so many copies of that and all of them will be working. So what is called as an agile manpower, you don't have to recruit a lot of people and you don't have to fire them when you don't have the, this robotic process, what they call as bots. Bots can be increased in number instantaneously and they can be reduced. So it's a flexible digital labor. And that's what is really taking all the industries by storm today. Everything is because of applications of data science. Now we all have traveled by air, and many times we are happy, sometimes we are not happy, sometimes we pick up a fight and we stop traveling by a specific airline. Now, you can, by looking a frequent flyer and the kind of challenges that you had, it can predict the sentiment of the flyers. Will you be happy in this flight? Is it likely to be a bad experience? And it can completely feed all this information to you. These are all very important applications. Now, customer satisfaction measurement using audio, video, all those things are very much possible. Of course, recommendation, all of you have seen, I don't have to worry. Prevention of fraud. There was one very interesting incident which I came across. There used to be a customer who used to buy about 8,000 to 9,000 rupee worth of silver jewelry in one of the very huge network of silver gold store across the country. And one time the bill came to 2 lakhs. And instantaneously the algorithm in the bank alerted both the party as well as the merchant, saying that this customer used to buy 9 to 10,000. Why have you billed it as 2 lakh? Is there something different? And before the person could notice, they could resolve, and the transaction got cancelled. So that means you can prevent things that happen as fraud. It can be completely controlled. For example, there are even more very interesting applications. For example, if there is a heart patient for which you have to use a stent, and a doctor by mistakes orders a wrong size or a wrong diameter stent to be put into the heart, the store will not issue, saying that this, whatever are the diagnosis that was done for the surgery, the non-invasive surgery, this stent will not fit. So it will prevent putting of wrong parts into the body and save lives. That is the extent to which data science can act in real time. There are wonderful things that you can think about. If you happen to watch some YouTube video, please look for insurance claims and data science. You will be really wonderstruck by the kind of things that happen. If a unfortunately and in the car, while the person can sit, and the insurance agent will come online, and everything is transacted through voice. An alternate car will come to the spot, and you can simply go in the other car, and a tow truck will come and take this vehicle away. And by the time you reach your destination, the insurance claim is processed and over. So people have been able to reduce insurance claim from 5 weeks to 1 hour. This is the kind of things that data science can really help and make happen. So in future, we are not only talking about connecting computers, we will also connect things. So there will be a refrigerator which will order whatever normal foods that you store if it gets over. There will be a very intelligent washing machine which will call the electricity company if the power failure is too often. The same washing will also call the service person automatically by itself if there is a malfunctioning of the machine. So these are the things that are likely to happen, right from your shoe to car to computer and people, and everything is going to get connected, and it will be a lot more than people because we have more things than us in our house. So these are the things that happen in the shopping area. It can predict whatever that you buy commonly. For the companies who are selling the products, it can group the people according to their buyer behavior, and it can also automate the decisions, as I mentioned in the earlier. I just want to take one last very interesting case about eye surgery, and then move to questions if there are. I believe one of the most important questions for a patient undergoing a eye surgery will ask is, after how many days will I be able to see properly? So today you can tell this with the help of predictive analytics and data science exactly to the deviation of 1 or 2 days. So if this prediction comes from the machine that it will be 47 days, it will be either 46 or 49. It can predict to that level. Most often it will be 47. So how is this possible? Yes. So the treatment that is given and the lens replaced and the correction condition, this data is categorized according to age, that you can see 10 to 19, 20 to 29, all the by age group, and millions of surgery data across India is collected. And using that data, like I said, not only the problem or the correction data is available to the computer, but also the actual result of after how many days that person was able to see well. He was also fed back to the same thing, exactly like giving the data as well as the results of the surgery. With that data, with several billion samples across, now it can really do extremely well and predict whatever the number of days after which a person is able to see. So whoever can really look at this is called as a linear regression in data science, and it can really do this kind of work. Now today, again, I'm talking about a huge social impact that you can see. If any of us went for eye testing, maybe now also in many places, we typically use a device on the what you see on the left-hand side. But today, it can be replaced by something which you are seeing on the right side. Interestingly, that uses an iPhone. It is just looking like a gun. All that you have to do is to point the gun to the patient's eye and then take a picture. It will take the picture and that data will go to the cloud, and an artificial intelligence algorithm which has several trillion samples of eye picture will analyze and tell what is the condition of the eye within seconds. Now you can imagine this doesn't need huge power. It's battery operated. You can take it anywhere to the remotest possible village, and it just uses iPhone, and it is connected to the cloud over a normal network. And this is the kind of future that we are seeing, and all these are reality today. And I'm privileged to work with some of these interesting companies today to really bring about. From a college and other perspective, I also have worked on a automated English language fluency assessment. You don't have to go through GRE, TOEFL, all the kinds of tests that are associated. It takes only 4 minutes to take the test on the mobile phone. A person has to speak, and the algorithm will tell you the quality of the English within seconds. And it also suggests what are all the things that they have to improve in order to speak better English. This has been done for across universities, across India, and of course in many other parts of the world. So a small Texas-based company was able to make this happen. So data science learning has got variety of subjects, as I talked about. There is amount of mathematics, statistics, advanced computing, visualization, domain expertise like medical or mechanical or whatever, and then it is a subject of many intersections. So today we can really look at it is a interdisciplinary subject. So in order to be a data scientist, one needs to be what we call as a versatilist, who will know a deep skills in a wide scope and recognize many different domains. So those who are interested, there is a very interesting thing called Metro Map of data science subjects and topics. It's called Data Science Metro Map. It's really like taken like a train station and the different things that we have, green line, blue line, yellow line, and all that. So somebody has done a wonderful job of describing all the topics as well as the streams of the subject. For example, on the green line, you can see data ingestion. So what are all the topics that you need to understand in that? And similarly, in machine learning, which is the yellow line, what are all the topics one needs to know? Blue line represents all the fundamentals that you need to know. And with all this, one can really learn. Today, it's very easy to learn data science. And of course, you can imagine what kind of impact this person will be able to make. We can all shape our lives with the digital world, with data science. And this is what I wanted to communicate. And thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity to share some basic idea about these things. I'll be happy to take some questions if they are there.
Sir, definitely there might be a lot of questions.
Yeah, I'm there.
Thank you, sir, for such an enlightening speech on data science. Dear audience, we just have listened to today's keynote speaker, Shri R.M. Prasad sir, the Chief Practice Officer of Confluence Consulting Circle. Thank you, sir, again.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
On the occasion of Librarians Day, Department of Library and Information Science, Tripura University has conducted various online competitions for the students, including quiz, best video competitions, etc. Here in this competition, Miss Tanushri Majumdar, a student of BLIS, Tripura University, has got the Best Video Producer prize. We will upload her video in this channel as soon as it is ready here. Congratulations, Tanushri Majumdar, for being the producer of the best video. We are having here with us Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tripura University, Professor N.K. Singh sir. I would now request him to address the audience. Over to Professor N.K. Singh sir.
Good afternoon to everybody. I'm happy that Library Science, Department of Library Science and Information and the Central Library of Tripura University has organized the Library Day function, which was scheduled to be on 12th. So for this program, to congratulate this librarian, Dr. B. Sanjay, and the head of Department of Library Science, Dr. Mahapatra, Dean Faculty of Science, Professor Shukant Banik, other participants and faculty members present in this program. So we are here to celebrate the 120th birth anniversary of Padma Shri Dr. S.R. Ranganathan. He is called the father of the library science. So, term father is very important because father of a child, father of a subject, and father of the nation. These are very important and primitive. Father has a idea about his child. All the time he loves his child. He gives all the time pleasing attitude, gives the impetus for the growing in the life everywhere and all the time. Similarly, a father of the subject means he has a love with the subject. He has created the incentives in the subject for one and all. So he is renowned in all over the world. He has inputs, many tools in the library from the very beginning, where the library science was very poor. But nowadays, this computerization, data science, and many things are coming which gives the input to our library or the library science, and we are becoming more and more systematic. This library science is a science means is a systematic knowledge. If we cannot do our knowledge systematic, it will be difficult to go through the library procedures, and our user of the library may not be in comfortable stage. So this library science is very important, as data science is also very important for each and every one. Who may be a student, may be a public. So everywhere the library is having importance. In our state also we have many public libraries where all the people of anywhere they can go and they can study whatever they like. We have the university has also the library, departments have some also the library, but they are restricted to the students of the university or colleges at the faculties of the college and university. But when the public library is there, it is open to all. So this idea behind this public library and library that this data or these materials put in the library will be open to all. If someone is having no idea, if some advertisement has come in a particular paper and he is not in a position to get the paper, he can go to the public library and get this paper, and he can note down this whatever the advertisement is there for his benefit. So like that, this library has its tremendous benefit and profit for the humanity also. And so we have to learn. But the number of students coming out from the library science is very limited. And this limited, along with that, if you have this proficiency in the library science, this type of views are also less, or the persons are less in this number. So when this our Dr. S.R. Ranganathan like man, if he loves a subject, creates a history and gives the principles for a subject, that becomes very important. So every teacher or every faculty member of the university or the colleges, they should follow the same pattern of this fatherhood. Because if you are becoming a fatherhood, then you can love this subject and you can give the benefit of that subject to our students. So these are the things where we are going to have. And the S.R. Ranganathan is a father of the library science. So he has contribution, but I can think becoming a father of a subject, how much time has to devote, how much preparation has to take, how much troubles has to be take, and all these things has to be concluded. An entire life is devoted for a subject, then a person becomes the father of the subject. Like this father of the nation of our country, Mahatma Gandhi, how he suffered, we know everything. But for a subject, we don't know, because a person is related to a particular subject and this subject is not open to all. So their knowledge is restricted about that. About this Professor S.R. Ranganathan, I was also not knowing that he is the father of the library science. But during some interview of this library science, I came to know that Dr. S.R. Ranganathan is the father of the library science. And then afterwards, I suggested the library science and library and information science department to celebrate every year this program or the birth celebration, and the students should be participating in all these events for getting that. Like that, we have also one Bharat Ko Jano program by the Bharat Vikas Parishad. And what they are going to do, we know everything about the outside or the celebrities, but we don't know the heroes, real heroes of our country. So for that, the Bharat Ko Jano competition has been started, starting from the school level to the university level, where all the inputs will be given from the nation. Like that, Dr. S.R. Ranganathan should also be known to each and every student of our country that he is the father of the library science. Like that, this will come. So if you are going to have that type of tendency to learn more things and get more awareness about the heroes of our countries, we have to think in that direction. So this program and our speaker, keynote speaker, Sri R.N. Prasad, founder and chief practice officer, Confluence Consulting Circle, has given a very benefiting and befitting lecture about this data science, machine learning, computing, and others. So that has a very important idea, because without this data science or without computation, we are not in a position to get the information. If you go for the information of the physical form, it is very difficult. But whenever we are having a put a button, we can get all the informations. As Prasad has told, we can get the information not by this putting the information, but the data is added and machine can give learning, machine can give its own data. So we can have these ideas. So now the age of country is now passing through, or the world is passing through the information age, and this is a very information age, is a very vital force. If those countries who have the higher learning or higher informations, they are more rich. Those be done, and the awareness about this science. Library science is used by everyone. So everybody must know some of this library science. Then it will be more beneficial and everything will be in right direction. With these words, I like to congratulate this organizer who has made this effort during this COVID period, maintaining social distance, not congregation, and the isolated way we have arranged this program. And I congratulate all the organizations who have made the effort in spite of all this COVID-19 and our pandemic. We are not going behind. We are not leaving ourselves back, but we are going ahead. We are going to force pandemic to go away because we are not afraid of the pandemic. We are going to cope with these conditions or SOP for this pandemic, and we can win over the pandemic and our progress will go. With these words, I like to thank all of you. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Professor M.K. Singh, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tripura University, for giving such an inspirational speech on this auspicious day. Thank you, sir. With this, we have almost reached at the end of today's program. Before concluding our today's program, I would request Deputy Librarian of Tripura University, Sri Champeshwar Mishra, sir, to bid vote of thanks. Over to Champeshwar Mishra.
Good afternoon, one and all of you. Wishing all a happy Librarian Day. It is my great pleasure to extend the vote of thanks to all those who have made this event successful on the Bath University of Dr. S. Ranganathan. I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Professor Mahesh Kumar Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor and Chief Guest Officer of Presence. We would like to thank you, sir, for your kind presence and provide all support and guidance to conduct this event. Sir, I am sure that your input will bring some impact among allied professions in the world. Thank you very much, sir, for your kind support that you have always given to us. Sincere thanks to Professor Sukant Bani, Dean, Faculty of Science, for accepting our invitation to getting the occasion. It's a of honor. Inequality among information professionals in the world. I'm most thankful to Dr. B. Sanjay, librarian, who delivered conceptual note for today's conference. He has made all effort to conduct this program within a short span of time. We are very much thankful to you, sir. I'd like to thank Dr. Ravindra Kumar Bhavatma, their Department of LIS, for his welcome speech and helping us in every aspect for successfully conduct this program. Would like to thank the registrar, control of examinations, the finance officers, all faculty members, all officers, and staff of Tripura University for providing all support to conduct these events a successful one. I thank Dr. Tiwari sir for his kind presence in the event. I like to thank our officers and staff of Central Library team and all faculty members of DLI Tripura University for providing every support to successfully conduct this event and organize in a very better way. I thank all participants who participated both online and offline and made this event a successful one. I realize that I missed a few participants or few individuals who have been supporting us. I once again thank everyone whose contribution has made this event a great one. Thank you all. Stay safe. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Finally, we will conclude our today's session by national anthem. All are requested to stand up for the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा सब शुभ नामे सब शुभ आशीष गाहे सब जय जन गण मंगलदायक जय है भारत भाग्य विधाता जय है जय है जय है जय जय
Balkatu, stop.
Yeah, thanks, Satish. Take care. Bye.